Good morning. Welcome to Core Strength. Lily is here with me, ready to work out. So you will need a set of weights. I'll have 5 pounds. You use what you have on hand, what's comfortable for you. A mat or a towel or even your rug for some floor work. If getting on the floor doesn't work for you, this could be your floor, a chair. Your hands could go on a desk or a countertop, whatever you've got handy. So make this workout work for you. I'm glad you're here, and I will get you warmed up and we'll get that 45 minutes of working out in. We'll work on that strength, balance, lots of good stuff. We'll get in some cardio too. All right, here we go. 45 minutes on the watch, and we're starting with a kickback. So give yourself a kick. Starting with that leg warm up, and we'll get the heart rate up a little bit with this move. So warming up the back of the thighs, getting a stretch on the front of the thighs with a nice dynamic stretch. Stretching and moving, good stuff. Good way to start out your workout. A couple more. All right, we are scissoring forward, pulling back, squeeze chest, squeeze shoulder blades together. Think of squeezing a freshly sharpened pencil between those shoulder blades. Let's put those moves together for some coordination. So we're warming up the brain too. And we will definitely target a lot of muscles that are part of the core. Abs are part of the core. That's what we tend to think of. But there's far more than abs in your core. One more, and then let's get those shoulders warmed up. So we're rolling back and forward. And if you can, make that movement bigger. Whatever is the comfortable range of movement for you. I like calling this shoulder flossing. I didn't come up with that, but I think it's a cool name. If you can make your exercise fun, which is a good thing, you're more likely to do it. So whatever makes exercise enjoyable for you, so you will do it. One more time, let's get that lower body a little warmer. So step those feet wide, and we're shifting side to side. So we want those legs ready for the work. If you can, get a little lower. Stay low with a bit of a knee bend the whole time. But if you're up higher, that's where you're at, that's okay. Respect where you're at today. Let's add a reach. So maybe it's knees, maybe it's shins, maybe it's toes. Up to you. Getting those legs nice and warm. We're going to add some rotation here. Let's slow down. So maybe, again, it could be knees. Really rotating through that upper back, shins. Showing you different options wherever you're at. Option to come to the toes. Really trying to rotate through that upper back. When we're over that computer, the phone, we get rounded forward. We want to really wake up that upper back. Last time. Let's hang down toward the toes. If you're here, that's good. Just getting that stretch. Bend the knees, straighten the knees, roll that spine up. So hanging down wherever you can, bending those knees, straightening those knees, rolling up, hanging down, bending those knees, straightening those knees, rolling up. Let's do that movement one more time. And then we're going to change that just a little bit. So we're reaching down, coming up on those toes, with that upright row. Getting the back of that body ready to go. We'll do more for the back of the body. Let's do one more. And then what we're going to do, this is like a really exaggerated kettlebell swing. So straighten up those arms. We're reaching between those legs and squeezing the back of the body as you bring those arms up. So if I had you holding a kettlebell, I wouldn't really have you making this large of a range of movement, but we're reaching between those legs and then coming up and squeezing the back of the body, getting it warm. And then we'll have a little fun with those inchworms. One more time. So I'll show you this on the floor, and then I'll show you with the chair. So grab your chair if you're there. So we're coming down towards the floor, straighten those legs if you can. Walking into that plank, that inchworm will add a little bit. We're coming into up dog and dropping the knees or holding the knees up, and into down dog. Walking those hands back and rolling that spine up. If that works best for you, keep going. Here's your chair version. I'm in Lily's space. So coming straight into that plank, lower those, or drop those hips in that up dog, stretching the front of the body, and then driving those heels down, feeling that stretch in the back of the body, and then you walk in and roll it up. So let's keep going with that. I'm going to stay with the chair version in that plank, dropping the hips, down dog, walking it in, rolling that spine up. Here's another option. Say you have your countertop or desk. Keep going, your version. So maybe you're in that plank. I was doing a conference this weekend. We were doing push-ups. My hands were on this desk. All right. Up dog, maybe you're a little closer. Down dog. Yeah, I can only do so many. Walk it in. That's the last one. Good for you. I could only do so many push-ups on the floor. Yeah, they were continuing education. So I pushed you, then I go and have somebody else push me, and I pay them. Good stuff. It was called the DCAC Fitness Convention, and the virtual version because we can't do in person right now, but it was nice to be a part of that. So learning. Okay, first one, and I'm using my phone today because I do not have my timer with me. 30 seconds on the clock. We're going to hold. So this is either, so you could certainly hold on to something. If you need to tap down, go ahead. So this is, if you're a yogi, you would recognize this, yes, a balance challenge, as a warrior 3, or very similar to a warrior 3, or this could be the top of a single leg deadlift. So we're holding a single leg deadlift. The point is we are working the back of the thigh, which is part of that core, and we're going to go right into a mini squat. So just bending those knees is okay to hold on to something for sure. So your core is everything from your collarbone to above your knees, the muscles that attach to your spine and your pelvis, and move those joints in many different directions. Or fight movement, help you from falling over, anti-rotation. As in this case, helping you to stabilize so you can balance. Okay, let's get that other side. We're starting, oh, I forgot to swipe the side. So we're holding. So an isometric exercise, if you can let go, go ahead. So when you're balancing like this, it helps to find a non-moving spot to hold your gaze and tighten up those abs, your belly, like you're taking a punch. But your muscles, a lot of the muscles in that core that I just mentioned, collarbone to above the knees all the way around, are working to keep you from falling over, to help you balance. And walking is balance, let's face it. Let's add that mini squat. So just a little single leg squat here, while we're in this, holding the top of this deadlift or this warrior 3, letting go if you can. You're really starting to feel some burn in those glutes, that booty. That's definitely part of your core. But of course, we're targeting abs. And I know we love our core on the floor. Talking and balancing, not going so well. But standing core work is so important because that's when we use those muscles. So, good stuff. All right, a side clam. So we're just balancing here, and it's like you're a clam you're opening. Actually, I think this is more like a fire hydrant, really. A dog at the fire hydrant. So now we're starting to get some work for those inner and outer thighs. Abductors and adductors. Abduct away, add to. I like that kind of stuff, so that's your thing. But we're really getting a lot of work for that standing leg. It's doing something. It may just be staying put, but it's isometrically working, so not moving but working. Let's do the other side, of course. So I've got a slight bend in my knee here. My knee is unlocked. So you can lock and unlock your knee. And we're just lifting. So those muscles on the sides are working hard to help you fight rotation. They're keeping you from falling over. And then you're definitely feeling those booty, those glutes. And those get lengthened. The back of the body gets lengthened when we sit, especially rounded forward over electronics. And front of the body gets tightened up. So that can cause some pain. So let's get things strong and work on some alignment here. Okay, we will get into weights, I promise, but this is definitely going to give you a cardio benefit. So we are going to step back, reverse lunge or a step back, and driving toward that opposite elbow. I'm so used to my timer in here. Okay, so reverse lunge to that knee drive toward that opposite knee, or opposite elbow. Could be more of a tap, or you can come all the way back and get that lower leg parallel to the floor, almost touching. But it's still a great move if it's more of a tap to a knee drive. So, yeah, you're feeling that heart rate come up. Definitely core. Whew. Let's get that other side. I know, you're welcome. Okay, so reverse lunge to that knee drive with a twist. So that's getting your sides, those getting out of bed muscles. So they're working to stabilize you and also helping you to do that rotation. Yes, the abdominal muscles are engaged to help with that balance. What a great way to challenge your abs. Far better than a crunch, really, because it's real life. And a crunch could bother your back if you're doing that sitting, because you're sitting here kind of in a crunch for hours, and then that back is like, no, I've had enough of that. Okay. Oh. Well, we won't do that just yet because it's very similar to what we just did. Oh, there's a lot of the same stuff. All right, we're just doing it. So it's a squat. We'll alternate. And we'll make you do 30 seconds each side. All right, so squat, drive up, squat. So we're driving up, driving that knee up, adding that rotation. So feel those sides work. Weight is in those heels when you're coming down to that squat. So yeah, we're creating a burn in those legs, part of your core, muscles that are attached to that pelvis. It's amazing. The core is far more than you might have known. Whew. All right. There's a lot of cardio in this strength workout. All right, so, all right. This is, we'll do one side at a time on this. So it's a knee drive. So you can really get the heart rate up on this one. Here we go. So stack those hands, and we're driving that knee up. Your pace. You decide how high that knee is coming. The idea, nice squeeze, is that knee comes up, squeeze. So we're into abdominal muscles, but we've got that rotation. So we're getting those obliques, your sides, getting out of bed muscles. Aren't you glad you get up for this? Cardio and strength. It's a beautiful thing. Shake it out. Look at that other side, so catch your breath. All right, here we go. Do the best you can. Take a break if you need to. We're driving that knee up, rotating toward the opposite elbow. I don't always make you sweat so much, but if you're not sweating, I'm sweating on your behalf. It's dripping here. So it's good cardio. It gets the heart rate up while we're building that strength, that core strength. So important. Everything's attached to the core, so we want that core strong. All right. Let's see. Can I read at this point? Yes, I can. You're gonna love this one too. Eva cute, Eva laugh. That means it's challenging. So we're coming wide, medium, narrow. We'll alternate sides. All right, here we go. Squat. Wide, medium, narrow. Wide, medium, narrow. Wide, medium, narrow. You go at your pace. Maybe my pace isn't the right one for you today. You can blast your music. I don't have music. I don't want to monkey with figuring out what's okay for Facebook Live, and you might not like what I choose anyway. I thought we were going to be able to sneak in another one. So put on your own music. It is possible to figure out all that Facebook Live music right stuff, but it's background for this workout, so we're good. All right, we're going to do, it's called an 80-20 deadlift. Is that what we're doing? Yes, that is what we're doing. So we've got to stagger in those feet. 80% of the weight is on that front foot. Here we go. So I'll show you from the side what I'm doing. So this is just my kickstand. Taking that bow, so just like we did that warrior 3, but this time we have the foot as our kickstand, this foot. So from the other side. So I've got my shoulders pulled back and down in my back pockets, my chest slightly lifted, and when I come up, see my hips come forward a little bit, and I'm squeezing those gluteal muscles. So when you're walking, whoa, I was changing the amount of time. We don't want that. All right, stagger those feet, bring the other foot forward. Just a little bit of a stagger. 80% of the weight here in that front leg. And then those hips are coming slightly forward at the top of that movement from the side. Bring those hips forward just a little bit, just enough to squeeze here. So you're feeling the back of the thigh. We're also targeting the lower back with this. So those muscles that oppose those abdominal muscles, working opposite each other the way the biceps and triceps do. So, well, not exactly, but it's kind of that idea. Okay, we're back to something that's going to get the heart rate up a bit more. I'm staying up. Alternating curtsy lunges. So think curtsy for the queen. So we're stepping back. You are definitely going to feel here. Here we go. I'm going to have extra time to run through some of these again. It's possible I might have forgotten something too. So we're trying to keep the chest as lifted as we can. Most of the weight is on this leg, or this leg now. So we're balancing as we shift the weight side to side. And we're definitely feeling those glutes. We've done a lot to target those glutes this morning. Whew. Yes. The weights are for the floor. We'll be using them. Don't worry. Okay, scapular wall hold. So I don't have a sideways wall that you really be able to see this. So what you're going to do is you're going to have those elbows a little wider than the body. So here's what we're hitting between those shoulder blades. These are your scapula. So we're hitting that upper back. So we're going to press. It's kind of like we're in a standing reverse plank. I can show you what a reverse plank is later if you want to know. You might not want to know. All right, so we're a few inches away from the wall. We're driving those elbows into the wall, pushing the chest and hips forward. Lift that chest, and we're just holding. So an isometric exercise. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. If you feel like you need to walk those feet towards the wall a little bit, if it's feeling like a bit much, if you're having trouble isolating that upper back, then tap your hips and then try it again. Driving those elbows into the wall. Squeezing those shoulder blades together. So good. How are we doing? I think we can throw in a couple more things. So let's do some more leg things. We'll do that wide, medium, narrow squat. Remember, weight is in your heels with a squat, so you want weight in the heels about hip width apart with that medium squat. Well, we're shaking that up a bit. Weight in your heels. You could even lift your toes, hips come back, chest is lifted. We're pressing through those heels to come up. All right, good squat form. Let's take it wide, medium, narrow. 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 Make the pace fit your needs today. What are you feeling? Is it feeling like a Monday? Do you need to take it at a different pace? Do you want to go faster? What do you want to do today? Worked out just perfectly. Okay. We are, is there anything I missed in there? I want to make sure I have plenty of time for that core on the floor because we've got some good stuff with the weights. I'm going to hit that chest. Let's do that scapular wall hold one more time. If we find we have extra time. No, let's do the curtsy lunges. I love them. Curtsy for the queen, so good for us. You might hate them. So stepping behind. So it's taking that lunge, that reverse lunge across that imaginary midline. So we did the reverse lunge to the knee drive earlier. And now we're going across that imaginary midline and stepping the foot back and really working on that balance and a nice booty burner. So having strong glutes is very popular these days. Well, it's always popular to have strong muscles. But if you want to be in, there you go. I've been in all my life. Well, I was getting ready for this trend all my life. It wasn't always a trend, trust me. All right, scapular wall hold. So leaning back a little bit, a few inches away from the wall, driving those elbows into the wall, lifting the chest, hips come forward, squeezing the shoulder blades together. So you've got that newly sharpened pencil, good time to think of that, I guess. Newly sharpened pencil squeezed between those shoulder blades, holding that pencil. So we're driving elbows into the wall, working back muscles. You can work back muscles without weight very effectively. I showed that in my video, I think my live last Wednesday, where I used the door frame to do a row. So you're using your body weight. Let me tell you, those push-ups, we're going to the floor. Those push-ups that I did on Saturday that I just mentioned a few minutes ago, that's all body weight. Push-ups are hard. Oh my goodness, my chest was sore yesterday. Let's grab a drink. Let's stay hydrated. So I'm going to bring everything to the floor. I like to use a mat. You don't have to. A towel or a rug. If you don't mind being on the bare floor, that's certainly fine. This is like my kindergarten blanket for my nap, to me. Always doing a squat to pick up weights or put weights down to protect that lower back. I'll bring the camera down so that you can see me better, so you can see all the delightful things that I'm going to have you do. And I don't know what Lily thinks of this. I think she's glad to her. We went for a walk this morning, so she's like, I'm good. Maybe, I don't know, should we have some dog exercises? Wonder how many of you could do a like if you have a dog. Give me a thumbs up to let me know you have a dog. All right, here comes an exercise with weight. So we are going to, I will need a timer. We don't want to do this endlessly. So we are going to be in a half kneeling position. So we've got a rather unsteady base of support, holding the weight here if you can, or bring the weight here. So if you're here, you're working the front of the shoulder, and we're going to tip down, and we're really using those sides in this one. All right, here we go. So the top of my back foot is facing the floor. You can tap down, or maybe you're staying up a bit higher, a few inches above that floor. So weight on one side definitely makes those sides, so I'm going to show that option I mentioned, makes those sides work hard. So moving weight on one side of the body is a great way to work the core. And we're really getting those sides. That has a less obnoxious beep than my other timer. So if you need to fold some, put a pillow or something, okay, my knee is not happy today. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to fold. I had a birthday, you know. Things happen. All right. So we're in that half kneeling position and we're tipping to this side. Here we go. So holding the weight up in that overhead press if you'd like, or at the shoulder if that's a better option for you, if you like that option better. So we're really working each side, so crunch on the way down, and then engaging that left side, the side that's holding the weight, to come back upright. And then we've got this half kneeling position, so an unsteady base of support, making us work harder on that core. Okay, oh, you're gonna love me. Okay, cue the evil laugh. Side plank with a row. So here's what we're going to do. If this bothers you, come here. If you want to elevate your hand on a chair or whatever you've got for an elevated surface. So this is the side plank. You could certainly be, I'm going to do this from a knee plank. So we're going to row up and pull back. That holding the weight does not work for me, but that might be a good option for you. Making a fist could be another option that's more wrist friendly. You could even bring your knee closer to your hand. That might be an option you like better. And of course, you could come into that knee off the floor and row up. I'll give you a little bit of calm before the storm. All right, I'm showing the side plank with the knee down. Here we go. So we're rowing, we're facing down, we're rowing up, and then you're turning. So we're hitting that back. So if you do have heavier weights on hand, an exercise like this, you might be able to go heavier. That's up to you. You decide. 5 pounds? 3 pounds? Maybe that's the right challenge for you. So you start where you're at, and you keep working, and you get a little bit better every time. Let's get that other side. So you're choosing the version that works best for you. Feel free to bring that hand up on a chair or a countertop. Here we go. So we're in that side plank. We're rowing up and then rotating. Let me make sure you can see me. Rotating, pulling that elbow back. So we're really hitting back muscles. And then that bottom side is working hard. Notice that I'm taking my time to move through this exercise so that the form is on. This is a challenging exercise, and we want to really focus on good form. That's what matters. Maybe I turn Siri down and she's not giving me a loud enough. Yeah, that could be. Siri doesn't like that, I guess. She doesn't want to chime loudly. Okay, so we are going to do push-ups. You could certainly put your hands on an elevated surface. On a chair, it would be, you'd be narrower, well, the chair I have anyway, so it would hit more of the triceps. In a push-up, a traditional push-up, the hands are wider than shoulder width, so we target more of the chest. So what I'm going to challenge you to do is to try to be on your toes for, and we'll just take a little break here so I can show you good form. So wider than shoulder width, you can have those feet wide, but notice how my hips are in line with the rest of my body. What you want to avoid is sagging those hips. You could injure your back, or bringing the hips up, because then you're really not getting the benefit. So you want that straight line. So if that means that you need to do what I did the other day, where I put my hands on my desk. So what we're going to do, the lowering down is a little bit easier, and then we'll put the knees down for the up face. If you need your knees down the whole time, it's really better to do the elevated push-up, because that's more like the on the toes push-up. So you're getting more of the real thing, but I'll show the version that I set up for today. Okay, so we're wider than shoulder width. We're coming down to the floor, dropping those knees. If you're on the knees the whole time, but I would encourage you, if that's what you're doing, so keep going with this. I'll show you. Keep going with the version that works for you. So the desk version, or the countertop version, or the wall version, it's very effective, trust me. My chest was on fire after we did a few rounds of this. But you're trying to bring the chest down as close to the working surface as you can. Yes, I hear it. Okay, so that's a great way to challenge chest muscles with a body weight exercise. Okay, if you've ever tried doing many push-ups, you probably know it takes time to build up. Okay, the next one, it's not pretty. You can do this with or without the weight. The not pretty part is the getting into the exercise. So you're putting the head of that weight between your feet, and then you kind of got to flop down. See, there you go. It's not pretty. And I want to make sure you can see me. So I'm straightening the legs, and then I'm not straightening them all the way, and I'm giving myself a kick and hitting the back of those thighs, those hamstrings. Here we go. So we're straightening partially, and then giving a kick. Definitely feeling the backs of those thighs. So those muscles really get stretched out if you're sitting, especially if you're adding that extra lean forward over the computer. My knee's not so happy today. Oh well. All right, good. Yeah, my knee's ready to be finished with that. So let's see what other good things. I know I have some chest work. I know we just did push-ups, and now I have more. I have plenty more. Actually, let's just do it. Let's just do it. Okay, chest press. So if you have heavier weights and you'd like to use them for a chest press, feel free to grab them. So what we're doing is we are going right over the chest. Exhale up, inhale down. Here we go. Exhale up, inhale down. Go at the pace that works best for you. Yeah, I'm still feeling those chest muscles from Saturday from all those push-ups. Yeah, body weight exercises are very effective. They really are. We hear today what Governor Cuomo is saying for New York gyms. We've been waiting since mid-March to have those gyms opened up. We have been able to do some outside work, but we're itching to get back in that gym. All right, chest fly. So we've got bend in those elbows at the bottom of that movement. We're coming up, exhale up. Those palms are facing each other. Inhale down. So notice that I have a bend in my elbows rather than my arms being flat on the floor. I'm bringing those weights up a little bit. And we're flying. Here we go. So exhale up, inhale down. Exhale up, inhale down. You will notice if you do have heavier weights that, or you just will possibly notice this. You don't need as heavy a weight for a chest press or chest fly, this exercise, as you do for the chest press that we just did. So it's not your imagination if you noticed that. Okay, we are going to get the brain engaged here, and we're going to put those exercises together. So we're going to do a neutral grip chest press into a chest fly. So we're putting the two together. You're welcome. Evil laugh. Okay, palms facing in that chest press. We're opening up. Remember that bend in the elbows at the bottom of that fly. So the palms facing that neutral grip is setting us up to do that fly nicely. We've got that nice form. And the nice thing about doing this on the floor is the floor naturally stops us at that point where we want to stop. If we're on the bench, we don't have that cue to stop us. So it's a nice way to get the hang of that exercise. All right. This is called core stabilization. So we're taking our time with this. You can have your arms straight, long levers. Long levers do add intensity. You definitely want to engage the core muscles like you're taking a punch to the belly. And we're going to rotate and pause. Come here and pause. You can have the weight closer to the body if that feels better to you. We've got a C spine with this, and we're rotating. So it's like we're at the top half of a sit-up. We're taking our time. We are pausing. So we're hitting those sides. We're really working on core stability, which if you're new working out, or if you're having some pain, maybe some lower back pain, going back to some exercises that help stabilize the core on the floor is a great idea. And it's always a good idea to have some stability exercises in your workout. Just keep your body in touch with that. Even if you are in a more advanced place with your exercise. Okay, I'm going to change this a little bit. You'll probably hate me if I leave this for last. How are we doing? My watch thinks I don't want to pause. We want to keep going. Apparently we weren't working hard enough for my watch. So that's what we're doing. You decide how high those knees are coming. So we've got a C sit, so a C shape in our spine. So we're protecting that back, and we're marching and rotating. So we're really getting those sides. We're feeling that lower back working to stabilize us. If the lower back hurts though, take a break. We definitely are not trying to cause pain. So we challenge those lower back muscles on these last two. Okay. We are doing, let's throw in, how are we doing on time? Okay. I mentioned core stability exercises, so you might wonder what I'm talking about. So let's do bird dog. And then I also mentioned that you can get some great back workout without weights. So bird dog is opposite hand and arm and leg coming out. This is the starting point. You're creating instability. If you can, straighten the limbs. And here's another option, knee to elbow. So you choose your favorite. And what we're doing is we're creating stability in that lower back, your lumbar spine. So that's where we can get that pain. So we definitely want to create that stability. So on all fours, so maybe lifting a little bit off the floor is plenty. Maybe you can do opposite leg. So if you are straightening that leg, give that glute a squeeze. If you can, add that knee to elbow. So you've got different options. Choose the one that's your favorite. But if you are straightening that leg, give that booty, that glute a squeeze, a little extra. So we're really working on balance in this all fours position, quadruped position, whatever. I like those words. Okay, so here's your starting point. So maybe that's plenty. Maybe you can straighten that arm and leg. Remember, as you straighten that leg, give those glutes, that booty, a squeeze. Or if you'd like, you could add that knee to elbow. Whatever's working best for you. I kind of alternate between my palm facing down and my palm facing inward. Okay, so let's do a back exercise. So, letters. I love my letters. So here's a good one. It's going to hit multiple back muscles. I'll show you up right before I do the on the floor version. We are going to do a Y, so we're going to lift into a Y, and then we're going to drive those elbows down to the waist into a W. So hitting a lot of back muscles with that. And actually, here's an option. You can add Superman or Superwoman and lift those feet just a little bit. Then you're going to feel lower back and those glutes. All right, so lots of muscles in the back of the body with this one. So lifting up in Y, driving elbows down in W. Think of having your chest lifted toward the ceiling. I know you're not really lifting your chest toward the ceiling, but it's just a cue to help you think of good form. Shoulders in your back pockets. We're driving those elbows into the waist. So we're hitting the lats with that W arm. Those are large muscles in your back. So if you were going to do a pull-up, those would be the muscles you would use. Okay. Let's do another exercise that is great for some stability. Actually, I was going to do fire hydrant. Let's do a glute bridge. That's a really good one. Since we just did bird dog, let's do glute bridge. So getting those feet as close as you can to your glutes, your butt, the more you're going to feel your glutes and the less you'll feel your hamstrings. So we're just driving those hips up, giving those glutes a good squeeze. Maybe you want to hold that glute bridge. Maybe you want to do a single leg glute bridge. So you've got different options to make this exercise work for you. Maybe you want to stay at the top and pulse that movement. So I'm doing the traditional glute bridge, lifting those hips, squeezing those glutes, engaging those glutes, part of your core, an important part of your core. So if you have lower back pain, we think crunches are the best. Research shows that they are not the best way to engage abdominal muscles. So if you are sitting over a computer all day, you're already in a little bit of a crunch. So you might have some back pain. Then you start crunching and doing a similar movement. That's going to make the back pain worse. It's not that I never do crunches, but it's just something to be mindful of. All right. We can throw in a little bit more. So an exercise that is awesome for working abdominal muscles among others is a plank. So feel free to have your hands up on even the wall, a chair, an elevated surface. I'm going to show you the plank, a forearm plank, where I'm bringing my elbows wider. So I'm clasping hands, bringing my elbows wider than shoulder width. So come in and out of plank as you need to. So I'm just going to talk about plank form. So if you are on your toes, which you can do if your hands are up higher, and get those core muscles stronger so they're ready for what the version I'm doing. Not everybody's here. It took me time to get here. So we're driving those elbows into the floor. We're driving those heels back, imagining that we're pulling our tights up. They're tight and we're pulling them up. So we're pulling those leg muscles up towards those hips. Things that happen that you want to avoid. So let's come from here. So we're laying down and we're going to come up on the knees, and those hips are in line with the spine. So when the plank is more than you're ready for, what happens is sometimes people bring their hips up toward the ceiling and then it's not very effective, or they let their hips sag, and that could hurt your lower back. So much better to drop to the knees, to take a break, or that other thing that I encouraged you to do, I've lost my train of thought, to put your hands up higher. It's a great way to build strength in that middle and get to the place where you can, if you want to, do the plank on your toes on the floor. All right, let's stretch it out. So we'll come into the half kneeling position. Top that back foot on the floor. We want that chest lifted. We want that back straight. We're tucking the tail like a naughty puppy. So we're feeling some nice stretch in those muscles that can be tight, especially if you do seated work. And then we can add a reach up. So same arm as that back leg. And just reaching across that imaginary midline. So that deepens our hip flexor stretch. And it gets us some stretch through those sides, those obliques. And we're still working on core strength because we're in this unsteady half kneeling position. And then let's straighten up the leg. You can sit back if you want. Sit back on this foot. Bring your toes in. If you have the flexibility, you certainly could grab those toes. So we're getting a stretch down the back of the leg. So I don't know where you're tight, so I'm offering you stretch for those major muscles. Let's come on the other side, and we will back foot's on the top of that, or top of that back foot's on the floor. So we want to be nice and lifted straight back. We're tucking that tail, tucking that pelvis, maybe bringing the hip forward from the knee if that works for you. Some people like to grab their foot and bring it up It's a little harder on the knee. My knee's not a fan. Okay, so yeah, I have those birthdays and that's what happens. Bringing a hand up from, same as that, kneeling leg and coming across that imaginary midline, so you're feeling a deeper stretch in the front of that thigh, kneeling leg, and down your side. And let's get those hamstrings. Well, we can really get down the back of the leg. If we bring those toes in, we're going to feel all the way down the back of the leg. And if you like, you could pull the toes in. And if you're like, Grace, I can't reach my toes, you're crazy. That's okay. You just enjoy where you're at, appreciate where you're at. The fact that you showed up and you did your best work, good for you. All right, let's do some stretching, some more stretching on the back of the body, child's pose. So we can just bring those knees wide and sink down. And then a way to get chest muscles. So you could do this just standing and hinged at the hip, kind of like we did when we did down dog with the chair. When I was doing inchworm and I showed you down dog, you could do that instead with your hands on the chair. And then this would work also with your hands elevated. So what we're doing is we're coming up, we've got tarantula hands here, and we're letting that chest drop down, feeling some stretch through the front of the body, through the chest and shoulders. And then we did that side plank, so that might have gotten your wrists. So let's just do a little stretch for those upper arms and those wrists. Here we go. And we'll finish up. So bringing those fingertips down, if it feels okay. So we're getting here, and then the wrist. If you feel okay with adding some resistance, you could. And flipping, and then maybe adding resistance, but you don't have to. Whatever feels best to you. You need to listen to your body. And then down, option to pull that hand in if you'd like. And then we'll flip and pull in. And then let's get those triceps here or here. So they were helping out with those push-ups. For sure, the front of the shoulder and the back of the upper arm help out with push movements. Chest, work with the chest. Very nice job. Did we do it? Yes, we did. We were over 45 minutes. Awesome. Thank you for hanging out with me. I know I got into some more core stability exercises, but it's good to do that. So, again, thank you for joining me, and have a